so Sailing the Seas of Cheese is an album. And like I said, I forgot the cover. But you should buy it. Whichever gets the band the most money is something you should do, I think. I don't know whether a CD does, but, well, you should have the CD. The Adrian and Ballou and Tony Levin fan club, possibly. The other thing we could do about this album is just quote the young ones. No one would have believed in the last years of the 20th century music would be good. But here we are, because Primus are awesome. Imagine Elephant Talk, Tony Levin meets Zappa meets Rush meets some sort of turbocharged soul funk meets the Goons. Yeah, yes. It's very likeable. It's you know what I mean. It's something everyone will have well, that's quite appealing, even if they listen to it or not. And I've listed stuff I think it sounds like there, which it really does. But you'll find people will it's like this band I like. It's progressive, They've even been called alternative. They headlined Lollapalooza at one point. Even though obviously alternative as a brand of rock is of course code for epically bland, and leads to Nickelback in the end. Oh, you're saying no? No, yes, it does. That's the way it goes. Sorry. Everybody likes Primus. They're awesome. It's those good 90s bands again. It's the Mr. Bungle thing. Even Rage Against the Machine, And remember when we did Angel Dust? We were talking about how the guitar is taking a backseat to the bass to make it more funky and rhythmic. And obviously that's the thing here. Obviously it's all about the bass. It's got that sense of fun. Mr. Bungle is fun. It's not amazing and profound at this point, like Zappa or something. It's got this fun to it, and yet quite aggressive. Superficially, it's cool, okay, except it's not cool. It's actually really nerdy, which is great. You could call it got groove music, but that sells them short, really. This is great stuff. This is their third album. I think maybe first on the major label, the first time the major label actually bothered. Being on Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey must have helped massively. Rufus, dressed as a woman, even says their name. So that must, in a Hollywood movie, to say, oh yeah, this is Primus, people are like, oh yeah, that sounds great. You've got so very staccato, not very overdriven guitar. It's very rhythmic. It's not smooth and accurate. It's rhythmic and noisy guitar solos. Very Adrian Ballou. They like Elephant Talk, the song, a lot. Some wonderful high-end bass going bow and Zappa-esque sense of humour, and like I said, Young One samples as well. So it's awesome. There's the CD. There we go.
No, they are. This is really quite good. Quite good music. You're right. When you say people just associate with lots of things they like, I'm thinking, I thought Rage Against the Machine.
Yes.
I thought Zappa, particularly on the sort of like the subject matter, the funness of it.
Yes.
Yeah. If you like Red Hot Chili Peppers, I like Red Hot Chili Peppers, but better.
Yeah. Nerdy version of the Chili Peppers.
Yeah, they are basically. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. At first, I thought, okay, the first track, well, this is quite cool, and the second track, this is quite cool. And I thought, okay, this is going to get a bit samey now, but actually, it's not. It's like, it is like a sketchbook of cool, basically. It's like every little song's quite cool, and you do think, well, okay, that gets a bit samey, but it doesn't. It grows on you more and more as you listen to it, and you think, flipping it, this is cool. This took some energy to make this.
Yes,
they've really done it. And you're right, Mr. Bungle. That first Mr. Bungle album that was sort of non-stop in your face, not letting up.
Yeah,
this is awesome. It has got that kind of, forward, relentless sort of greatness about it. It's a great thing to behold.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's nowhere near as out there as Mr. Bungle. It shouldn't
No.
say, should it? It's actually...
But there is a definite sort of link there, isn't there? Because you got the sort of Mr. Bungle. Was it? Didn't the Chili Peppers accuse them of copying him?
The Mr. Bungle guy, yeah. Got his name, yeah. You know.
Yeah. So I mean, it's sort of like they're both. There is a sort of a light link there. I mean, if you like Chili Peppers, you're immediately going to go, oh yeah, that sounds quite familiar, which is cool. But because you're exposing yourself to better music than the Chili Peppers, you're doing it sneakily.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. It's a sneakily. That's the thing. It's a sneaked in. This.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just keeps going. Yeah. It's a great record.
Yeah. Yeah. Party time.
Yeah.
I think at this point the music is very much coming out of what they were doing in the concerts. They're playing. They came from the metal scene, really, the same scene that Metallica came from. Strangely, it's that same people, and that they knew each other. You know, and I think particularly he was friends with Kirk Hammett, and of course he did audition for Metallica. It sounds completely ridiculous. You can imagine being, and they're just like, oh my god. And of course, well, James Hetfield said, well, he was far too good. Because he was. He's far too good. But actually, you could have argued, if you'd only heard the first 3 Metallica albums, and you got a lot about Metallica, maybe that would have been a thing. But of course, Metallica weren't looking for that. They were looking for a generic metal person with no personality, so they could impinge their own personalities, etc. Masks. This thing about wearing masks, like ugly man masks, or what's that bird thing? Like a is it what the man who collected all the bodies in the Black Death had to wear, or something, with the beak?
Oh, I don't know that.
That kind of thing. But just like Mr. Bungle wearing masks, much less frightening. This is much more the goons, whereas Mr. Bungle is trying very hard to be quite sinister and in your face and aggressive and sort of scary, because with the title Mr. Bungle, we don't think of the same thing people from the US think when you say Mr. Bungle. Mr. Bungle is something specific they took it from, the samples, etc. But we think of Bungle from Rainbow, kids' TV show called Rainbow. There's a silly sort of outtake of some rude stuff from that kids' TV show. It's quite funny. But Bungle was a massive bear, a man in a bear suit. The other puppets were like little grub puppets. Bungle was terrifying because you'd think he's okay as long as he's happy, but just imagine if he just breaks one day and kills Zippy. I've digressed. The 90s. The problem with the 90s was you had to be cool, because you had to be on MTV, you had to be able to make a video, and you've got to look like a rock star, etc. Not many cool people can make good music. You end up with The Almighty and bands like that, and Nickelback. Les Claypool, Mr. Claypole, isn't cool at all. But he sneaks in the back door or something. It's like because Primus is so stylised, he tricks the system. If you watch him at the Rush Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing where he plays Spirit of Radio, how did he get a success in the 90s? But it was all a trick. He beat them. He does sound like Big Bird, and then you don't realise that until you think about it. Oh, he does sound like Big Bird. It's not like a great singer, but it really suits the music. When you hear him trying to sing Spirit of Radio, he sounds like Big Bird. I think the weirdness is quite surface level, so it doesn't go far into the music. I'm looking at the wrong CD there. I forget that. Like Mr. Bungle does. So Mr. Bungle must have been considered really out there for the kids of the time. Mr. Bungle must have seemed really extreme. Whereas this has songs and it's much more accessible in that sense. And there's a silliness, and they wear silly masks and all that stuff on top of it. Certainly at this point, it's just fantastic funk-fueled jamming is what it is. Just a great band playing cool stuff. That's really good. The B-side to the big single was Jerry Was a Race Car Driver. I think I got that right. That is elephant talk. It's just elephant talk. It's their take on elephant talk. It's the same. And is it luck as well? But I think I mostly like the extreme stuff. The more extreme it gets, the more I enjoy it. So, is it luck, as I said, and 11 as well, which is obviously it goes 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3. You know, Tommy the Cat is the famous song. That's the one that's on Bill and Ted, and you hear the end of the song and recognise it. Him going at the end. It's actually Tom Waits doing the spoken bits, who sounds exactly like Les Claypool. So perhaps it isn't really Tom Waits or something. Maybe they said, "Can we just say it was you?" Yeah, go on. Because they sound the same. It's now here's the thing. I would have given this 5 eggs if we were only doing this album, but we're actually recording 2 albums back to back here. So because I've heard the next one, I'm going to give this one 4 eggs.
That kind of gives it away, Kev.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. It gives away the whole eggs thing is nonsense. This one's better than this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Let's give it 4 eggs.
Yeah, 4 eggs.
4 eggs.
Good. Right
then.
Yes, we've done that now.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. Goodbye.